Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the Jackrabbit Show, and I am your host, Jack L. Rabbit, and I'd like to welcome you tonight for a very special evening. We will be checking out a Five Nights at Freddy's short story, fan fiction, you would call it. I am very excited, and I hope you're excited as well. We're going to have a bunch of different stuff lined up this week for you guys, an episode every day until Friday. And you must be thinking to yourself, why are you so disheveled, Jackrabbit? You're usually not like this. And I'd like to say, I've tried to record this episode like 3 or 4 fucking times, and every time something goes wrong, and I'm tired of stuff going wrong, so let's just cross our fingers and hope that we can record the fucking episode without anything going wrong, okay? Yeah, that sound good? Awesome! Woo! All right, Lammy, how are we feeling? How are we feeling? We liking it? We're feeling good? We're feeling excited? Yeah? Okay, all right. Awesome. Okay. Stick along after this break and we'll get right into the Five Nights at Freddy's fan fucking fiction. And then after that, if we have time, we'll check out some of the most haunted places in America just to put a little bow tie around the little present that's called the Jackrabbit Show, where it is going to be Halloween year fucking round. So get that ass lubed up, get that cock hard, and we'll come back to you after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get right into this Five Nights at Freddy's horror short story, and we're going to call it here. It's called Midnight Maintenance, a FNAF fan story by AftonPoppy on quotev.com. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We see Ho-Oh's Rainbow Feather, a promise to possibility. That's a Pokemon if you're not familiar with that. And they all fall down. So it seems like AftonPoppy is very popular here in the quote V. A couple of reads here. All right. Well, let's join that list of readers, why don't we? Okay. Midnight Maintenance. I won't take any more of your time. Let's get right into it. Cue the music. Cue the creepy music. Hair pressed down on me, thick with the bitter tang of oil in the state, electric scent of old wires. I forced the maintenance room door open. Its hinges shrieked, and the sound of slicing through the darkness like a dying animal. My flashlight sputtered, its weak beam trembling as it swept across Foxy the pirate. Erg. Slept in the far corner, abandoned and broken. Wow. So we're looking at Foxy now. He's abandoned and broken. How tragic. His fur, once a garish red, now hung in filthy, matted clumps molded on the stains that looked modeled on the stains that looked too dark to be dust. It was a memory of laughter that had curdled into something sour and wrong. One yellow eye caught light, unblinking, burning with a sick intelligence that pinned me to the spot. The work order called this routine maintenance, but nothing about this was routine. Along with Foxy, his name whispered in every rumor, blamed for every missing piece and every scream. I felt the stories coil around my chest, squeezing until I could barely breathe. My hands shook as I stepped closer, tools rattling in my grip louder than my own heartbeat. My pulse thundered in ears, nearly drowning out the low insectile hum of the overhead lights. Get it right, Rabbit. I tried to focus on the maintenance sheet, but the words seemed to writhe and crawl. Foxy, routine maintenance. Step 1. Remove Foxy's eye patch and replace it with a fresh eye patch. I do remember playing the Five Nights at Freddy's, what is it called? FNAF VR? What is it? Help Wanted? That was pretty fun. You could fix up Foxy in that video game. You can fix up Foxy in that video game. I set the laminated sheet aside. My hands were slick with sweat that refused to dry, the plastic slipping between my fingers. Slipping. I reached for Foxy's eye patch. The fabric peeled away with a wet, tearing snap. The sound unnaturally loud in the stillness. Beneath it, a human eye glared back at me, glassy, bloodshot, and ringed with black rot. The skin around the socket was shriveled, puckered with maggots writhing in the folds. Revulsion surged up, thick and suffocating, clawing at my throat until I almost gagged. I staggered back, bile burning in my tongue, unable to look away from that grotesque, decaying gaze. Desperate to erase the image, I fumbled for a new eye patch and pressed it over the horror, my fingers shaking so violently I nearly dropped it. I forced my gaze back to the maintenance sheet. Step 2. Once the fresh eye patch is in place, replace the hook and remember not to get scratched. The words "not to get scratched" throbbed through my mind, whispering threats I couldn't ignore. My hands trembled, fear clawing under my skin as I stared at the twisted metal of Foxy's hook. I stood frozen, barely daring to breathe. As I unscrewed the bolt, the hook came away with a sickening quelch. Underneath, a rotted knuckle jutted out, dried blood and something darker crusted around it. I recoiled, but my eyes locked on the grain, a green emerald, slick and glistening with fresh blood. My breath stopped. I looked down at my own hand, my finger bare, and I knew with an icy certainty that the ring belonged to me. My mind shrieked in detail. My mind shrieked in denial. I searched for a new hook, the steel cold and heavy, but as I tried to fit it in place, it seemed to leap from my grasp, snapping onto the bloody knuckle. Foxy jerked upright, the animatronic's head twisting with a mechanical snarl. The new hook lashed out, metal screaming as it tore through my flesh. The new hook lashed out, metal screaming as it tore. The new hook lashed out, metal screaming as it tore through my flesh. I tried to scream, but Foxy's clawed hand clamped around my throat, crushing my windpipe with a wet crunch. My flashlight tumbled from my grip, spinning across the filthy floor and painting the walls with frantic, broken shadows. Foxy's jaw creaked open, gears shrieking, and a slick black tongue lolled out, dripping with a foul mixture of oil and congealed blood. The stench was suffocating, rot, rust, and something unmistakably human. Ooh. Also, how the fuck is this Foxy even like? So this Foxy's cooked, right? This Foxy, I'm assuming, isn't out there with the kids. He jerked me close, metal fingers digging into my flesh, slicing skin and muscle until hot blood slid down my neck. The animatronic's chest hatch yawned wide, hinges crusted with old flaking gore. Ooh. As he forced me inside, jagged metal ribs tore at my clothes and my skin, beating it in long red strips. I thrashed, shrieking, but the walls pressed in, splintering bones and grinding them to pulp. My limbs bent in ways they shouldn't, snapping with sharp, wet pops. As Foxy's machinery chewed me apart to make me fit. Ugh. I like the way that this person is. I like the way that AftonPoppy is actually formulating this together. It's a little spooky. Yeah, I like that. I like the imagery here. My head was forced forward, face smashed in a mask of dried viscera fused to the metal interior. Like, that's awesome. A mask of dried viscera fused to the metal interior. In the darkness, I saw the remains of others, scraps of uniforms, yellow teeth embedded in the greasy matted fur, A shriveled hand still clutching a maintenance tool. My own fingers, slick with blood, scrabbled, scrabbled uselessly at the iron cage. As Foxy's mechanism pierced my back, wires burrowing into my spine, filling my mouth with a taste of copper and bile. Pain became everything, a roaring, endless red agony until slowly it dulled. My vision flickered and shrank to a pinprick of yellow light, Foxy's eye now mine. My thoughts unraveled, but I felt the machine claim that was left of me. My soul stitched to the rotting wires and butchered flesh within. Now, when the lights fail and Foxy shambles out of the darkness, I am there, trapped inside. Bones splintered, skin slowing from rusted metal, mind screaming in silence. Watching through Foxy's eyes, I hunger for the next warm body, desperate to make someone else join the horror, to drown the pain with fresh screams of blood. And that was Midnight Maintenance, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Okay, so this person is a little literate, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I tried to record this episode like 3 times or 4 times, but none of the stories were. I mean, the stories were funny. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot more to make fun of on those. I do vibe with the idea. I do vibe with the idea of like this, like hell, you know, like now you're just in Foxy. Now you're just in there, dude. Foxy's collecting these bodies like fucking Infinity Stones. Foxy's hoarding these motherfuckers, and they just keep bringing them. That's the thing that always baffles me. So many of these FNAF stories, and I've read a couple. Yeah. A lot of these FNAF stories is literally the same concept of like, why the fuck are you still working here, dude? Why are you even trying to fix a Foxy that's covered in blood and there's like shit coming out and everything? It's crazy. It's crazy to me. But I do like the way that this is actually. I like the way that's it's structured. Call me crazy, but all of a sudden Foxy is scary again. I do prefer this as a horror story, right? It's supposed to be insinuated in the games that's like, oh, he gets stuffed, but I think that's metal, dude. That's fucking metal, dude. Yeah. My head twisting with a mechanical snarl. New hook lashed out. Hell yeah. So we just read someone getting mangled by Foxy, and that was very interesting. Great job, AftonPoppies, and a great first story for the Jackrabbit show. Very incredible, very good. The torture of hell, the torture of forever. I had never read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, and this is kind of giving that, right? It's kind of giving. It's kind of giving, like how the kids say nowadays. It's kind of giving. Wow. Mind screaming inside this. Fucking sick, no? Alright, so that was the FNAF fan fiction. Now, we're gonna take another little break, and then we'll get right into the most haunted places in America, because I believe we have time. I believe we do. This won't take very long, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to go over some of the most haunted places to visit, some of the most grotesque, some of the most obscure, some of the most infamous. Make sure to stick with us after this break, and we'll get right into the most haunted places in America. As I had previously mentioned, we already watched. I already went over a lot of the most haunted places in America, but we'll make do, right? Most haunted. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to get into the most haunted places in America. We'll go over a couple, just explain and maybe describe some of the horror that takes place in these tenebrosity-filled places? What do you think, Lamb? Are you scared? Are you freaked out? Oh yeah, we're ready. Let's go. New Orleans. Okay. With dozens of reportedly haunted places, New Orleans is one of the country's most haunted cities. By paranormal standards, NOLA has it all. Who the fuck is NOLA? Churches haunted by spirits of former priests, former hospitals visited by soldiers who died but never truly passed on, and homes filled with ghosts of previous residents, not to mention the vampire stories. Ooh. It's very taboo over there in New Orleans. I heard they have a lot of incest sex. Sorry if you're from New Orleans. The city has also some of its most notable ghosts, including that of William Faulkner, which is sometimes spotted at the author's home. Faulkner Housebooks. Who the fuck is William Faulkner? William Faulkner. Who is that? Let's find out who is that. William Faulkner is an American writer. He's best known for his novels and short stories set in the fictional Yaknapatawafa County, Mississippi. This is a very distinguished guy. Does this guy get into any controversies? During the First World War, Faulkner attempted to join the U.S. Army. There are accounts of this that indicate he was rejected for being underweight and short of stature of 5'5". Other accounts report to prove that the aforementioned accounts are all false. Then why the fuck do you even bring it up? If we're gonna say he's a twink and was rejected to the Army for being a twink, then I'd like to see that proven. Wikipedia. Aren't you guys supposed? Aren't we in charge of Wikipedia? Aren't we the ones that put in the information on this? Who is fucking trolling me right now? Fucking Wikipedia. No, I'm not gonna tip donating to a website. All right. The old Absinthe House, open since the early 1800s, is supposedly haunted by a voodoo practitioner, Mary LaVue. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is haunting every fucking place. He's also haunting the White House. There was another that saying the White House is one of the most haunted places in America. What's really haunting is those policies, am I right? And Pirate John Lafitte. St. Louis Cemetery number 1 is another paranormal hotspot said to have hundreds of ghosts. Who knows how they got that number? Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Hello, island? South of Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island draws sunseekers to its less busy stretch of sand in one of the best beach towns in South Carolina. However, there's a darker side. Ooh, the town has had more than its fair share of ghost stories. Most famous being the Gray Man. Okay. Said to appear on the beach before devastating storms, the apparition sometimes approaches people and warns them to flee. It's believed that if you encounter the spectral beachcomber, you'll be spared from the wrath of incoming hurricane. So it's a white hat ghost. It's a white hat ghost that cares for our safety. How kind, how quaint, how gay, how queer. To complete your ghost hunting itinerary, stay at the Pelican Inn, said to be haunted by its former owner, who was also a Confederate soldier. At All Saints Church, some graves date back to the 18th century. You can pay respect to Alice Flagg, a broken-hearted girl whose ghost is to wander around about town and in the marshes. Visitors often leave a token on her grave to make a wish. How cute. How cute. A Confederate soldier, that's probably the most horrifying thing I've ever heard. Come here, boy! Come here, boy! That was very insensitive. No, cut that. Make sure you cut that. Chicago? In Chicago, a disastrous fire, a notorious killer, and a mob history all contributed to his city's reputation as a haunted destination. The Iroquois Theater was the size of a blaze that killed hundreds in 1903. Some say the alley behind the theater is still haunted by those unfortunate patrons. I wonder what movie they were watching in 1903. I wonder what was going on in the Iroquois Theater. Let's see. You think we can find out? I think we can find out. It was the musical Mr. Bluebeard, starring comedian Eddie Foy. The Bluebeard. What the fuck is the Bluebeard? I just want to see if these people had a horrible death because they were watching a piece of dog shit, or it was like, I'm going out with greatness. The Mr. Bluebeard. Let's see what the fuck that's about. Mr. Bluebeard is a French folktale, the most famous surviving version of what was written by Charles Perrault in the first published by Barbin in Paris in 1697 in history's Les Contes du Temps Passé. The tale was about a wealthy man in a habit of murdering his wives and the attempts of the present one to avoid her fate of the predecessors. Okay, well, that's cute. I like that. So they were watching some horrifying shit, and they died horribly. I'm assuming that's what it is, right? American production on the title Mr. Bluebeard, known for being performed. Powerful nobleman who has been married 6 times to beautiful women who have all mysteriously vanished. When he visits his neighbor and asks to marry one of his daughters, they are terrified. After hosting a wonderful banquet, the youngest decides to be his wife and goes to live with him in his rich and luxurious palace in the countryside away from her family, but I'm assuming he's not at all what he seems to be. So these people died in a fire watching a rapist rape women. Perfect. H.H. Holmes, the country's first serial killer, murdered dozens, if not hundreds of women in his infamous murder castle. Oh yeah! I've heard about that. That place is crazy. Put up a picture of some of the stuff. Let me see. Murder castle. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, H.H. Holmes, what a crazy man, what a crazy person. Look at the elaborateness of this fucking place, dude. It's fucking nuts. Dude. He has like hidden rooms and shit. That place is cooked. The building is still gone and the site is now occupied by a post office, where some workers still report odd experiences in the building's basement. The location of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, often attributed to Al Capone, reportedly has some residual paranormal activity too. These are just a few of the many haunted sites in the Windy City. Interesting. Here it is, the Queen Mary, Long Beach, California. The famous ship is not just a historic landmark, but also one of the most haunted hotels in America. The ocean liner sailed for 3 decades from the 1930s to the 60s before retiring. Now permanently docked in Long Beach, California, it welcomes both daytime and overnight visitors. The hotel capitalizes on its spooky vibes by offering ghost tours that highlight the many spine-tingling tales of onboard happiness, from spectral spare room visitors to mysterious figures in the engine and boiler rooms. One of the creepiest sights is the first-class swimming pool, which remains empty due to California laws, and is one of the areas where the most hauntings have been reported. I've seen so many videos about the Queen Mary. I've seen so much documentation, and I don't know, you just can't convince me, man. Like, I'd have to go and stay there, but even if you stay there, it's so notorious for being haunted that I think people would just fucking fabricate that shit. Put a little speaker within the wall and make noises so the people can come back to get more scary stuff. To get scared. Freak them out, freak out the people. We'll make more money. We'll make more money. Let's actually wrap up just watching some of these clips of the Queen Mary. Okay, so we're checking out Summer Lane. Let's check out her channel. Ad blockers are not allowed on YouTube. This is what I think about you, dude. Refresh. Okay, so Summer Lane on YouTube, 475 subscribers. Paso Robles review during COVID. She does like she does just cute little videos. Nothing really scary.
These pictures I took myself after the buffets on board at the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. They are 100% unedited, except for the lighten feature that iPhoto offers and text. This is one of the largest paranormal hotspots in the world, and what you are about to see is proof that ghosts exist.
Sky Orbs is the gayest shit of all time. More orbs, guys. It's an orb, dude. It's a light. Something with a fucking... That's just the light, man. Come on. Give me something. Give me something, Summerlane. I'm fucking drying up here, dude. I'm drowning. Seems to be traveling. Oh, the orb. What the fuck is the proof that orbs even do anything? An orb or something starting to surface from the left cushion. That's just a stained fucking shitty couch. You! The neighbors. So yeah, that's definitely someone just sitting, just an old couch. After this had, oh, the couch pictures after this had no white lighting on them whatsoever. I tried to recreate many times. Interesting. Let's try to analyze this image here. It's just a simple picture of the stairwells. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I don't see any orbs. If she points out an orb, I'm ending the show. A fucking orb! Oh my god. Why were people so obsessed with orbs like 20 years ago? More orbs. It's crazy that orbs don't show up anymore because phones actually have good cameras now, huh? Crazy to think about. Orbs. Oh my god. These things do have no orbs. Alright, we're getting somewhere. More orbs. Haunting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Haunting stuff. So the rest of the video is just orbs. Orbs. Incredible. Incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Orbs. Okay, well that was the Jackrabbit show. What a beautiful time we had. I had a great time reading this Five Nights at Freddy's fan fiction and looking at orbs. You can expect more of this boring content every week, not every other week, every week. Well, this was the Jackrabbit show, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had more time to spend with you guys, but I swear my camera will not cooperate with me and I will run out of fucking storage. Anyway, this was the Jackrabbit show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy the concept of what I'm trying to do here. And I hope you have a great Halloween. And I hope that you have a Halloween costume that's actually creative and you're not just going as Men in Black or a prisoner or a devil or an angel or as a silly little rabbit or bunny. How retarded would that be? I'm actually going to go as an angel. I've set my mind. I've decided. I'm going as an angel and I'm going to wear the tightest fucking diaper that I can wear. And I'm going to have my cock and my balls slipping out of there, my hard little red cock slipping out, looped up and ready to go. And I'm going to have a little harp going around playing Master of Puppets. Trick or treat! Okay. This was the Jackrabbit Show. And I am your host, Jack L. Rabbit. And with that, have a horrible evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, let me check out. Wait, let's check out Summer Veins. Is that Osama bin Laden? Summer Lane is a fucking badass.